You have
ever buy a
absolutely
piece of
no right to be
paradise,
here after what
thinking
you
you're
did.
finally
I'm
escaping
not going
all the
anywhere, so you
idiots
better get
only to
used to
find
it.
out the real lunatics wear business casual and carry clipboards? Yeah, that's how my little dream of living by the lake turned into an all-out war over a patch of gravel and a steel gate. So let's set the scene. I'm Russell James, ex-Coast Guard. 20 years in, saw enough drama for a few lifetimes, and I decide to cash out, start over. Quiet place in Montana. Cabin by the water. Just enough trees to keep the neighbors out of sight and out of mind. No HOA. That's important, so remember it. I buy the place outright, check the title, talk to lawyers, make damn sure I'm not signing up for bake sales or yard standard violations. This spot, it's mine. No shared anything. Now, when I say peace and quiet, I mean I wanted mornings with coffee on the porch, maybe fixing up boats or docks for folks in town. Nothing more complicated than deciding which wrench to use. Instead, what I got, and I wish I was making this up, was a weekly battle with an HOA I never joined, led by a woman named Karen who must have gotten her law degree from a cereal box. It started small like all these things do. Monday morning, first spring thaw, I head down to check my gate. And look, I love that gate. Built it myself. Reinforced steel, bolts you could hang a truck from, painted it so clean it practically shines in the sunrise. But that morning, I spot fresh tire tracks, a busted lock, beer cans in the grass, even a half-eaten bag of chips wedged under a pine. Someone's been on my land, and they sure as hell didn't belong there. Now, I'm not a hothead, not anymore, but nothing makes my blood boil like finding strangers trashing my space. I pull the SD card from the trail cam. There's a black SUV for people, big smiles, bolt cutters. They spend the afternoon on my dock, blasting music, acting like they own the place, then leave just before sunset. One guy even loops the snap chain back around the post like he's doing me a favor. I mean, really? Next day, I get this letter. Fancy envelope, some shiny emblem up top. Elk Run Water-Eyed Association. Never heard of them. It reads like a lawsuit dressed up as a handshake. Says I'm blocking traditional community access, and I have 10 business days to tear down my artificial barriers, or they'll escalate things with the county. There's a whole paragraph about community harmony. You ever notice when someone talks about harmony, they're about to take your stuff? So, I call the number at the bottom. Karen herself answers. She's got this voice, clipped, practiced, like she's hosting a radio show no one listens to. I introduce myself, explain she's got the wrong guy, wrong property, wrong everything. She tells me, no, see, the community has always used this access road. Never mind that it's my driveway. And the only thing communal about it is the potholes I keep filling myself. I try to reason, tell her my title is clean. I've got paperwork, the whole 9 yards. She comes back with, we'll be submitting a complaint. We urge you to remove the gate. Urge. Like she's doing me a kindness. Well, I hang up before I say something that lands me in a holding cell. I call my attorney, forward her the letter, then go straight to the sheriff. File a report. If they want to play games, fine. I know how to build a paper trail. Then I head to the hardware store, buy a new chain, twice as thick, twice as ugly. Replace the cameras with ones that ping straight to my phone. By nightfall, my gate is Fort Knox, and my driveway's bristling with motion sensors. Let's see who's neighborly now. Days go by. Quiet. Almost too quiet. Part of me starts to hope maybe, just maybe, Karen's moving on. But no. Friday rolls around, and I spot a white Suburban idling by the gate. Woman in a red coat, 2 dudes in windbreakers, one with a badge, one with bolt cutters. I'm halfway down the drive before they can finish blinking. Back away from the gate, I shout, "Red coat lady." Turns out her name's Emily. Tries her best to smile while standing in front of a locked gate with bolt cutters in hand. She calls herself the access coordinator. Says they're here to inspect. I tell her she's trespassing and that the sheriff's already got their faces on file. They leave, but not before handing me another letter, even nastier than the first. Now, it's non-compliance with cooperative infrastructure expectations. That's legal for do what we want, or else. There's even a line about coordinated removal of obstructive elements. In other words, my gate. That night, I weld extra brackets onto the gate, upgrade the lock again, and move one camera to catch anyone sneaking through the trees. Then I send out a cease and desist. If they so much as breathe in the direction of my fence, there'll be a record. Next morning, I find flyers on every mailbox down the road, including mine. Lake access denied. One man's gate hurts us all. With aerial photos of my property, my name, even my parcel number. I go into town, see if anyone knows what's up. Most folks roll their eyes. Bunch of HOA busybodies, says one old guy at the gas station. You're in the right. But I can feel the tide shifting, public pressure, rumors, people getting riled up over a piece of land they've never set foot on. Then late that night, my camera pings. There's a guy in a hoodie, bolt cutters in hand, creeping up to the gate. I watch as the lights snap on. He spooks and sprints for his truck. Camera gets a nice, clear shot of his plates. Police come, file another report, but I can tell I'm not their priority. Too many calls, not enough deputies. I'm not sitting on my hands. Next day, I'm at the county clerk's office, every document in hand, title, deed, the exclusion order, maps. I get notarized copies of everything. If this goes to court, I want the truth in black and white. Come Monday, I get a knock at the door. Not the gate, my front door. Which means someone's walked onto my land without permission. Guy in a tan suit, county badge, clipboard. Says he's from zoning, hear about a disputed access point. Someone, gee, I wonder who, filed a complaint claiming my gate is illegal. He hands me paperwork, some nonsense map, that shows my driveway labeled Community Fire Access Trail. They even have my land shaded Shared Use Zone, as if they could just click and drag property lines on Google Maps. I call out, this is fantasy. He gives me the bureaucrat shrug. Bring your documents to the hearing, he says. Wait, what? There's a hearing, Thursday, county court. I grip those papers so hard, I almost tear them in half. I call my lawyer, Janet. She's already seen the petition. The HOA wants an emergency injunction to force me to open my land. But Janet's good. She pulls the original maps, the 2005 exclusion, fire department memos, even handwritten notes from the county engineer, all saying the same thing. My land is not, and never was, HOA property. But here's the twist, and every good fight needs a twist. Someone in the zoning office, a temp named Miller, had quietly updated the county's digital records, wiping out my exclusion and marking my land under review. And get this, the fake map in the HOA submission? It was drafted by a firm called Property Insight Group, run by, you guessed it, Karen's husband. That's when the penny drops. This isn't about lake access. This is a scam, a full-blown land grab, and I'm in their way. Thursday comes. Court's packed. Karen's there in her best power suit, flanked by lawyers who look like they bill by the comma. Janet stands up, lays out our case, the original documents, the forged digital edits, the conflict of interest with Property Insight Group. Judge listens, nods, then slams the brakes on the HOA. Temporary freeze. No more actions, no more threats. Karen glares at me. I can tell. She's not finished. 2 days later, I get a call from Curtis, a friend down at the marina. Russ, you expecting anyone to work on your gate? Because there's a crew out here with an excavator. I about swallow my tongue. I haul it back home. And sure enough, there's a yellow mini excavator, a half-torn gate, Karen in a wool coat supervising like it's just another Sunday chore. I don't say a word to her. I call the sheriff, then 2 old Coast Guard buddies who live nearby. We get to work. Rebuild the panel, reinforce the posts, add barricades, lights, alarms, you name it. When the deputy shows up, Karen tries her usual song and dance, but this time he shuts her down. Ma'am, please wait over there. He asks if I want to press charges. You better believe I do. That night, I get an alert. HOA's uploaded a revised access proposal to the county. This time, they're not just talking gates. They've submitted plans to build a public pier and parking lot on my land. And for good measure, they've forged the signature of the last owner, Doug Kinney, who's been dead for 2 years. They'll stop at nothing. I drive straight to Janet's office. She sees the forged docs and just shakes her head. This is criminal. She files fraud charges. Doug's widow brings the will, notarized sale, everything to prove the signature's fake. And then the press gets involved. Suddenly, my little lake cabin is the front page story. People share their own horror stories about the HOA. Sketchy permits, fake fines, intimidation. I do a couple interviews, walk them through the evidence, the damage, the fake maps. Karen's not happy. Things get uglier. Someone nails a sign in my tree. Keep out. You don't belong. I log it with the sheriff. Cameras catch people prowling my fence at night. Janet files for a restraining order against the HOA. They answer by partnering with a commercial developer, promising my lakefront for a new event pavilion. All before they've won a single case. Now, here's where the cavalry rides in. I call in every favor I've got. Land surveyors, retired zoning guys, even Hal, who helped fight a wildfire with me back in the day. Together, we build a file showing every rotten thing Karen and her crew have done. Shell companies, phantom grants, flipped properties, even financial ties to the developer. Court day comes. This time, everyone's watching, residents, press, county officials. Janet lays out the evidence, forged signatures, doctored records, the whole 9 yards. Even hands the judge emails where Karen talks about painting me as a paranoid gatekeeper. The judge doesn't buy a single excuse. Grants a full restraining order. HOA's banned from touching my property or even talking to me. But the fallout's just starting. Local headlines light up. HOA president arrested in land fraud case. County officials investigate. Every crooked deal comes to light. By the end of the week, Karen's arrested, her board resigns, and the HOA collapses. My inbox fills with messages from neighbors, people thanking me for standing up to the bullies. So was there justice? Close enough. I got a full settlement, legal fees covered, a public apology, and an ironclad guarantee that my land is mine, forever. The best part? I got my peace back. Coffee on the dock, my old dog Max at my side, not a soul in sight. Well, except for the eagle that swoops low every morning. Max barely looks up. He knows it's finally quiet. Karen took a plea, 10 years, no parole. Her mugshot pops up every so often as a warning to would-be HOA tyrants. As for Elk Run, gone. Sold off, broken up, bought by people who now know exactly where their property ends. Sometimes I sit out there, thinking about how close I came to losing everything to a pack of bureaucrats with a grudge and a printer. And I wonder, how many folks out there are one signature away from the same thing? So, tell me, where do you draw the line? When do rules for the community become just another way to steal what isn't theirs? Ever fought a battle like this, or watched a neighbor get steamrolled by HOA? Share your story. I bet I'm not the only one.
Cảm ơn tất cả các bạn đã xem video.